air display. It's a P-51 and of course famous long-range fighter escort, probably the most successful of World War II. In the hands today of John Dodd, who we happen to be chatting to him this morning, a very experienced warbird man, and I know on a day like this he'll be all smiles. Now it looks and feels right, doesn't it? It's a famous saying in aviation, if it looks right, it flies right. Well, the Mustang had a bit of a checkered background to it right at the start. It was actually produced and ordered within an incredibly small time, just a couple of months for a Royal Air Force specification. But it was not an instant success. Just 120 days was given to meet the British requirement. But the first Mustangs were built with Allison engines, and whilst they were okay low down, they weren't quite so hot when it came to altitude. Every now and again you'll hear that wonderful whistling sound. It's a bit like blowing over the top of an open bottle as the wind whistles past the gun ports in the wings there. It's an absolutely delightful and very distinctive sound of a Mustang. Well, it took until the middle of 1942 to transform this aircraft when in the UK Rolls-Royce Merlin engines were tested in place of the Allison engine. And it's the same aircraft as being used in the Spitfire that we're going to see in a few minutes' time, but it was licensed built by the company Packard in the USA, hence you'll often hear us refer to a Packard Merlin as opposed to a standard Rolls-Royce one. Whistling sound, and John Dodd and all his chums who fly these warbirds do very, very graceful low G manoeuvres. Of course, it helps the longevity of these aircraft, preserve them for many more years to come, that we don't overload and overstress them. So they treat them all with a lot of care, but nonetheless, just look at the style. Each pilot has his own style, and clearly John just loving those high arcing turns. Packard Merlin was initially installed in 1943 in the P-51 D and C models, and it pretty much was an instant success. Developed in 44 into the P-51D with a bubble canopy, and then the addition of 6 guns as well. It made it one of the most potent and iconic fighters of all time. Just the marriage of the men and the machine, and of course the engine as well, but the development of it may also made it an incredible long-range escort fighter as well, with an amazing 2,000 miles thanks to a huge fuel capacity of 1,000 litres internally and 815 litres in drop tanks as well. Equally impressive, had a maximum speed of 437 miles an hour at 25,000 feet. And a maximum speed of 500 miles an hour in a dive. Also had a service ceiling of 41,900 feet. This aircraft, rather special though, fulfilled all those descriptions that I've already told you about, with a Rolls-Royce Merlin 66 two-stage, two-speed supercharged engine made by Packard under that license. 650 caliber, 12.7 millimeter Browning machine guns. This aircraft was delivered to the US Army Air Force in 1945 and saw active service in World War II with 352 fighter group. It's got several confirmed kills to its name, and as you can see, still flying in superb condition here today, whipping through the skies at around 400 knots. And a lovely topside pass. As he passes down here on the left-hand side towards Boston, he gives John a big wave, won't he? That's absolutely glorious performance, and a real pleasure to get a Mustang here on our display stage. And just putting in a little victory roll there as he departs as well. Oh, and another one. Deep joy. He will be certainly smiling all the way back to Goodwood today, there's no doubt about it. 352, of course, very famous fighter group.